how the carrying capacity is going to be, how much the pressure is going to be on those natural resources. You see? But if you have plenty, that's where competition will come in. You have plenty now, then obviously the one that supplies for a better deal may eventually end up having more people, more users. But if you have so much, then eventually out of these, if you have 100 people and you have 10, you divide 10 each, so 10 will be visiting that place per time. Versus if you have only two, which means 50 will be visiting per time, which is not, well, it's cost effective perhaps, but it's going to be experience wise might not be so comfortable, you know, and especially with the environment. More people requires, or the pressure is on more resources that will be needed. So especially when developing your recreational plan, you have to think about all of these small concepts, which are part of the feasibility study. Okay, appraisal of opportunities. Inventories are very much important, not only of the landscape, but in general. All of the infrastructural developments that you need, all of the ecosystem services and suppliers of those services need to be documented. Right? If you're going to have a pool, where does water come from? Who supplies that water to you? How how often do you change the water? Where does this water go? Do you treat it before it's released? You know, a lot of these different things are important for the inventories. Um, Classifying in terms of landscape character, spatial places, types of recreation that is best suited for that area, what different parts of the area will be used, is it fit to be used in that particular way based on an estimated demand? None of these questions we have to answer before we even start engaging in those recreational plans, right? Conflicts, like I said, will always be there. There will always be conflicting, there will always be potential conflicts between different forms of users. And there will be a variety of ways in which to overcome them. Here in developing countries, I think that we are going in the proper direction because we have learned from those developed countries who failed at some point to administer recreation and the ecosystems and the environment. For us, I believe in the country, I think we are creating a notion that people are fully understanding the vital importance of the environment. I think they have realized that without the environment, there is little we can do, right? There is very little we can do if we do not protect the environment in the ways we're doing it. I think as a country, we have done so good that there is a huge potential for a increase in the number of different recreational plans to come into play. I think that all the stakeholders, what is called co-management, are putting a very good um, initiatives to help us overcome conflict. I think that we are in a position where we can safely say that this country, that is ours, has done a good job. Another country that I usually like to talk about as well, we're going to see it next year, next semester, is Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a country that is full of natural resources, just like ours. Of course, the GDPs are much bigger than ours. They're much more developed than we are. but indeed it's due to the fact on how they have been able to manage their resources that they have been able to reduce conflict between different users. Like in our country, we have marine environments. Then we have different type of users for the marine environment, whereby tourism is the most important one, perhaps. They have fishermen. And in the beginning, fishermen and the tourism industry, or the fishing and the tourism industries, were very much conflictive in this country. But due to the fact that there was a good initiative, and especially the on board of these very important organization, which is the Coastal Zone Management Authority. I think they have done a good job to oversee, along with other NGOs like Blue Ventures, Oceana, and all of those different organizations, to reduce conflict between the fishing industry and the recreational industry. Okay. There is a lot of different things that, of course, they're happening that it will take a long time for us, or it could be a long time, especially when we talk about corruption. We're in a position at this point where I'm sure everybody, majority of the people working out there, are kind of much more interested in the economic benefits than it is for the environment. And I think we will have to migrate into thinking that it's far more important to maintain those environments intact. Okay? So these things we're all going to discuss next semester when we talk about protected areas management. Any questions? Guys, any questions? Okay. This, guys, is a plan showing the possible range of opportunities for recreation in a landscape, right? This is under cooperation with neighboring owners. This is the ways in which the landscape looks like, and it kind of tells you descriptive ways where the rivers are, where lakes are, where the flatlands are, where they are kind of hilly but not so highly elevated, you know, accessibility of roads. All of this is shown in this particular map. And then this is the plan itself with pictures, right? It tells you that in these particular sections, so it will be good that you design something like this for your recreational plan. This is something that you might oversee and say, well, you might see and say, well, this is something we can do at this particular space. Okay, it's a site description telling you how geographically and to some form topographically it might look like. Like, for example, here it says it's lying on a rocky hilltop overlooking the city and the fifth of the fourth. Views out at the edge, otherwise internal views. What type of ecosystem is? It's a woodland type, very mature or over mature, mixed broadleaf woodland with some conifers, right? No understory on the beach, which means that you have enough space for movement. You see, because this forest here, especially in the US and Canada and those temperate zones, you don't see as much of the ground layer plant species. They are very much outcompeted by the old broadleaf trees. So that gives enough opportunities for bird watching, perhaps, trail walking. And it says here, right? Give me a second, guys.